Hello friends, I'm Andie with Andie B Yoga, and when you're ready, come join me on your mat and find a comfortable seated position. Let's get started. Close your eyes and we'll take 3 deep breaths to get us centered. In through the nose, out through the nose. In through the nose, and out through the nose. And one more time. In through the nose, and this time side out through the mouth. Let your breathing come back to normal. Bringing your hands to heart center, set an intention for today's practice. It can be anything, big or small, just something that you can return to throughout your practice. And when you're ready, blink your eyes open and start to walk your right hand out towards the side of your mat. Inhale your left arm up and over, stretching out your side body. Exhale, let that arm fall back down. Then inhale your right arm up and over towards the left, stretching out the side of your body. And then go ahead and exhale that arm back down to the ground. Inhale both arms up towards the sky. Twist towards your right, bringing your left hand to your right knee. Twisting towards the back of the mat. Hugging your belly in towards your spine. Twisting a little bit further. Inhale your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your hands down. Right hand to left knee. Twisting towards the back of your mat. Just a gentle twist to start to open your spine. And take another inhale as you come back to center. Let it out. And then make your way to a tabletop position. Bring your hands right under your shoulders and your knees right under your hips. Finding a nice straight spine, hugging your belly in. And then drop your belly towards the mat. Inhale, cow position. Exhale, arch your back towards the sky, cat position. Again, inhale into cow. Exhale, cat position. Inhale again for a cow. Exhale, cat, arch your back. And then come to a neutral spine, hugging your belly in towards your spine. Then go ahead and step your right foot behind you. Make some rocking motions to wake up your hamstrings and come back to tabletop. And then take your left foot out behind you. Again, finding the ball of your foot and rocking back and forth to just wake up those hamstrings. Then go ahead and come back to tabletop and reach your hands out towards each corner of the mat. Bring your chest towards the mat and come into a puppy dog pose, letting your chest fall. And then start to walk your hands back under your shoulders. Curl your toes under. Bring your knees just a few inches off the mat and hover, hugging your belly in towards your spine, firing up your core. Remembering to breathe. And then start to push your hips back and your belly towards your thighs and push back into your first downward dog. Maybe pedaling out your feet, bending one knee and then the other. To start to open your hamstrings. Find some stillness. Take a deep breath in and out. And then slowly start to tiptoe your way up to the front of the mat, coming into your first forward fold, bending your knees, taking your time to hang here. Take some deep breaths. Bring your hands to the mat, then inhale into a halfway lift, straight back. Exhale, fold. Inhale your arms up towards the sky, and then bring your hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Inhale your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat and step one foot back and then the other to a high plank. Drop your knees. And as you exhale, hug your elbows in towards the side of your rib cage and push through into your first cobra pose. Exhale, fall back down to the mat. Then inhale, we'll do one more cobra, maybe lifting your hands off the ground to test yourself and bringing yourself back down to the mat. And then push over your knees. Inhale up into your downward dog. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. And then start to lift your right foot up towards the sky into a three-legged dog position. Bend your knee, pivot open your hip into an open three-legged dog. And if it's in your practice, fall carefully into your wild thing, pushing your chest up towards the sky. And then bring your right hand back down to the mat. Push that right foot back up towards the sky into your three-legged dog. And then carefully lower that foot back down to the mat. Inhale your left foot up towards the sky. Bend your knee, pivot that hip open. Carefully lower into your wild thing, pushing your chest towards the sky. Bring your left hand back down to the mat and push that foot back up into a three-legged dog. Inhale and exhale your foot back down towards the mat. And roll forward into a high plank position, hugging your elbows in for Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, push back into a downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath and letting it out. Another deep breath in. Exhale out. And on your next inhale, bring your right foot up towards the sky into a three-legged dog. As you exhale, hug your knee in towards your nose. Inhale, push back into a three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your knee across to your left elbow. Inhale, push back into a three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, step through to your right thumb. Bring your arms along your sides and then up into your high crescent lunge position. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring your arms out towards your sides in a goddess pose. And then let them fall down behind you, clasp on behind your back, push your chest forward and find a micro back bend, letting your chin reach up towards the sky. Release your hands, bring your hands back up, and then go ahead and let them find the mat on either side of your right foot. Step your right foot back, push forward and hug your elbows in for Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, push back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your left heel up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring it into your nose. Inhale, push back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring it to your left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog, bring it across to your right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog, and then bend your knee in towards your nose and step that foot through towards your left thumb, bringing your arms along your sides and then reaching them up into a high crescent lunge. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring your arms into goddess pose. And then let them fall behind you again, clasping your hands, pushing that chest forward, lifting the chin, micro back bend. Release the hands, inhale your arms up, and then exhale, bring your hands to the mat, step your left foot back, and then do your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, and tiptoe your feet forward towards the front of the mat, bending your knees. Maybe clasping opposite hands to opposite elbows, finding a swaying motion, keeping that micro bend in your knees. Release your hands and inhale your arms up above your head. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center in mountain pose. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Inhale your arms up above your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your feet towards the back of the mat. Bend your elbows towards your ribcage, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Inhale your left heel up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, step it through to your left thumb. Bring your arms along your sides. Inhale up into crescent lunge. Inhale, and as you exhale, pivot open into your warrior two, bending your left leg. Inhale and exhale. And as you inhale, reach your left arm forward and up and back into your reverse warrior. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. Exhale, reach forward and come into a side angle pose. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Inhale, reach forward and fall into a Trikonasana pose. For an extra challenge as you come up, you can bring both arms along the sides of your ears before bringing your torso back up to standing. And come back to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands to frame your left foot, step your left foot back, and find your Chaturanga Dandasana, hugging your elbows in towards your rib cage. Inhale, upward facing dog. Pushing your hips back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, let it out. Inhale, bring your right foot up towards the sky, hug it in towards your nose, step through towards your right thumb. Bring your arms along your sides. Inhale up into your crescent lunge. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, pivot open into your warrior two position, bending into your front right leg. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Exhale, come to your side angle pose. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. Straighten your front leg, reach forward, and come into your triangle pose. Again, if you'd like that extra challenge, you can bring your arms along your ears before you lift your torso back up, and then bend into your front leg. Find warrior two, cartwheel your hands back down towards the mat, step your right foot back to meet your left, push forward and through your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and start to tiptoe your way up to the front of the mat, coming into your forward fold. Maybe wrapping your fingers around your big toes into Padangusthasana, bending into your knees, bending your elbows, finding a nice stretch here. It should feel really nice on your hamstrings. Maybe release your hands and then walk them under your feet for Padahastasana. Release your hands to the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come back up to standing, arms over your head. Exhale your hands to Anjali Mudra. Now we're going to work on a standing balance. Start to lift your right foot off the mat. Cross your right ankle right above your left knee and start to sink back into a standing figure four position, bringing the backs of your arms to your shins. Maybe for an extra challenge, trying to reach towards the ground. Pushing your shin into the backs of your arms, bring your hands back up to heart center if you had reached to the ground. Carefully stand back up and release your right leg. And we'll do the same on the left. Start to lift your left foot off the ground, find your balance, cross it over your right thigh, and start to sink back into that standing figure 4 position, bringing the backs of your arms to your shins, finding your balance, maybe reaching towards the ground. Remembering to breathe, bring your hands back to Anjali Mudra and carefully start to rise back up to standing and release your left leg back to the mat. One more balancing pose before we come down to the mat. Start to lift your heels up off the mat to your toes and start to bend your knees, sink your hips down, keeping your back as straight as possible, hands still at heart center, lowering your hips all the way down towards your heels for tiptoe pose or Prapadasana. Bring your arms out in front of you as you shift your weight back towards your hips and see how gracefully you can transition into a boat pose. Test your balance, see if you can straighten your legs, and then just come back into high boat and we'll do some high to low boat transitions. So exhale, low boat, inhale, high boat. Exhale, low boat, inhale, high boat. Exhale, low, inhale, high. Exhale, lower into low boat, and we're gonna hold low boat just for a little bit. And then go ahead and release. Take a deep breath in, let it out. Just take a second to relax on your mat. Next, step your feet in towards your hips, about hip distance apart. Reach down with your hands and feel the back of your heels. We'll do 2 bridge poses here. So start slowly peeling your back off the mat, maybe walking your shoulder blades in towards each other and clasping your hands underneath your hips. Pushing your hips up towards the sky, remembering to breathe. And then unclasp your hands, walk your shoulder blades out, and slowly lower your back down to the mat with your hips being the last thing to touch the mat. Take an inhale and an exhale. And on your next inhale, start to lift your hips off the mat, stomach, chest. Walk your shoulder blades in, clasp your hands under your hips. Take a deep breath in and out. Another inhale, and as you exhale, unclasp your hands, walk your shoulder blades out, and roll yourself down to the mat. Next, we'll move into a shoulder stand, or if it isn't in your practice, you can go ahead and do a fountain pose or legs up the wall. But if shoulder stand is in your practice, then roll your hips forward, catch your lower back with your hands, and bring your feet up towards the ceiling. And then go ahead and start to bend your knees and carefully assist yourself with your hands down to your hips, rolling carefully back to the mat. And then go ahead, bring your feet to the mat. Next, we'll move into a counter pose to all of those throat closing exercises. Extend your legs out. We'll move into fish pose, arms along your sides. Push into your elbows, push your chest up off the mat. Let your head fall with your throat open, and then slowly lower back down to the mat. Take an inhale and exhale. Bring your right knee in towards your chest, grab on with your hands, give it a nice hug. Maybe use your hands to help straighten your leg. And then go ahead and let it bend again and hug it in towards your chest. And then let it fall back down to the mat. Bring your left knee in towards your chest to give it a nice hug. Again, maybe extend that leg. Bend your knee, hug your knee back in towards your chest, and then let your left leg fall back down to the mat. Bring both knees in towards your chest, give them a big hug. Maybe bring your nose in towards your knees. And bring your head back to the mat. Let your arms fall into a T, and then drop your knees over towards the left side, coming into a supine twist. Having your gaze fall over your right hand. And on your next inhale, bring your knees back up to center. And then let them fall over towards the right. your gaze looking out over your left hand. And again, on an inhale, bring your knees back up towards your chest. Give them a nice hug. And then go ahead and release your legs out to the corners of your mat. Let your hands fall at your sides, palms up towards the ceiling, preparing for Shavasana. Taking some deep breaths, trying not to let any distractions in your surroundings bother you. And then when you're ready, start to find some movement, bending your knees in towards your hips, maybe rolling off to one side into the pose of the dreaming child. And when you're ready, push up into a seated position, bringing your hands to heart center. Return to your intention for today's practice, and maybe set a new intention for yourself as you move off your mat today. Bring a smile to your face. Thank yourself for practicing today. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Until next time, take care.